I know because anime just takes a while, right? Like Overlord, I just haven't watched the new season because I'm like,
it's not worth it.
I know.
I have watched the new season.
Like,
really?
Yeah, it's.
I watched 3 seasons of Overlord, right? And I loved every season I watched. But the thought of having to remind myself to give a fuck again about everything is like, okay, I can't.
Yeah.
And I know because Overlord's a lot.
Overlord is a lot.
I liked
it's
it,
very like dense in its world and characters. And
I liked about it.
Yeah, I mean,
but it just makes it that much harder to get back into it, right? Because you have to remind yourself again about all those little details.
Yeah.
For me, it's like playing a JRPG, quitting halfway through, then wanting to play it again, and getting back to the game. And
Impossible.
You're like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
Impossible.
I don't remember anything.
At least with Avatar, it was basically like very easy kid story plot line.
Yeah.
Whereas stuff like Overlord and ReZero feels like a lot to get back into. And so that's basically why I didn't watch Overlord, the new one. And I don't really think I will. I don't think I care anymore.
That's how I felt about Log Horizon as well.
Yeah, that too. Like
I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit through this again.
I think if shows
as much as I loved it.
just take way too long to continue. Like, what was the break between the Overlord seasons? Wasn't it like 3 years, 2 years?
It's 3 years, 2 years.
3 years
like
is too much, I think.
I don't know. I feel like it could happen. If honestly,
for 12 episodes, it's too much.
Honestly, because the example I used, Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Right? Between season 1 and season 2, we had like a fucking 5-6 year break or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a long break. And everyone thought that by the time season 2 came out, everyone would stop giving a shit about Attack on Titan.
Everyone kind of did, though.
Everyone kind of did.
For a little bit.
For like a little bit.
But I felt like it wasn't until season 3 where everyone started caring again.
But then you only really start caring when the hype shit starts happening.
Yeah.
Because the problem with something like ReZero Season 2 is that it felt more like a setup season.
For sure.
And like you're like, I don't really care what's going on and I don't really care to invest myself because there's not really anything hype happening. But let's say ReZero Season 3 does happen. I don't know what happens further on. And there are some fucking banger moments. There are some hype shit happening. You're gonna start like, oh shit, I wanna like care about this again, you know. And I feel like something dense like Overlord. My big problem with Overlord in general right now after watching season 4 is that every season I come in with the same thing when I'm like, oh, I really like the world and the characters, and I'm waiting for like I wait for that oh shit moment because it always feels like it's building towards that oh shit moment, and then it just doesn't deliver the same way I want it to deliver.
12 episodes just isn't enough for stuff like Overlord, I think. I think it's too... Like the Overlord world is so dense, like you said, that 12 episodes just feels like you got like an itch of an arc. It feels like you didn't get anything. Whereas when you compare it to like, let's say other like normal like live action stuff in America, it's like, okay, well, they might do 10 episodes, but like they're an hour long. So you can really get into some shit. I think just not like 6, what is 12 hours? Is that like 5 hours of content, 4 hours of content?
12 episodes?
Yeah, that's like 4 hours
it's
of
about
content.
Four and a half, 5
You cut the
Yeah.
intros and outros.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours of content isn't much.
Isn't that much
for a really big world building show like Overlord, where they hint at so much stuff, and it's like, man, it's like I can't. Even in season 3, I was like, wait, who's who again?
Yeah,
and you hinted at this a little bit in season 1. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
it's just tough to care.
It is, and
I want to. I really want to care. I like Overlord. I like the world. It was sick.
Yeah, because it's a really sick world, and there's a lot going on, which is like I said, something that I always liked about Overlord, and it's always felt like it built up towards something.
Yeah,
and then when, it just
you know it's good when there's like multiple channels uploading lore videos about Overlord. Yeah, and there's so many of them, and they're good, and you're like, whoa, this is actually fucking interesting.
Yeah. Which, like, honestly, sometimes if I just need a recap, I'll just like watch a recap on YouTube.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's normally enough for me, because normally what I find a lot of the times with big open worlds like this is that for like the important story beats, 90% of the information isn't like necessary. It's necessary if you really want to immerse yourself in the world. But for like the core basic story beats of this epic thing is happening, what do I need to know going into this beforehand? You can normally like, just read a fucking wiki
I
page
think
to get up to date. And
that
stuff
makes
like
you just think about like Game of Thrones, where it's like, you can have the surface level plot points and enjoy it, or you can really get in the world building and get fucking lost in how good the world is. And
exactly.
How well it all interacts. Yeah. And I feel like that it's just hard to do that with a lot of anime.
Overlord.
Have you caught up to Overlord?
Yeah, I have. I've watched all of season 3.
Because I haven't seen season 3 yet.
Okay.
I've seen 1 and 2.
But season 3 is probably the weakest season in my opinion.
Okay.
I think that's more to do with the adaptation itself and less to do with what happens.
Right.
But if we're talking purely the anime, I think the first season is the best.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it hasn't reached that same heights to me.
I don't know if it's the first Isekai series to do it, but it took an antagonist as the protagonist.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the first one, but it's definitely the most like notable one when it comes to modern isekais.
Yeah.
Just because Momonga, I think his name was.
Yeah.
It's just such like a very notable character even in the show.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's. I don't really know where to place this one because I did enjoy it. I just feel like it needs it. It's had 3 seasons, and I still think it's had nowhere near enough time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they spent half a season on fucking lizard sex. you know? But, like, that's what I mean, where it takes so much time in, like, world building, and I feel like it's building up to something that's gonna be really cool and good.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
But it hasn't gotten nearly to that point.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe B.
I'm thinking A or B.
I'm gonna put it in B just because I think there's a lot more room for improvement when it comes to the story.
I mean, in terms of entertainment, I'd say I had the same amount of enjoyment than as No Game Alive.
Yeah,
so I think that's
okay. That's fair.
Good.
Hell yeah. Damn, this is great. This just got released.